Jedi cannot help what they are. Where is he?
You know, as you and Ewan have both noted, this is an understandably pretty grim time for Obi-Wan. So is it sort of a balancing act to show the weight of everything he's gone through while also not forgetting, you know, kind of the humor and maybe the twinkle in the eye aspect of the character that people love?
Yes, absolutely. You know, and it is a dark time that we're starting in. And it's also, you know, for the character of Obi-Wan, we're coming out of Revenge of the Sith with, you know, everything that happened with Order 66 and Anakin at the end of that. You know, so he's carrying a lot of weight at the beginning of our series. I think that was something that Ewan and I really didn't want to lose sight of, is that if anyone seems representative of the light side, it's this character, and there's always such a warmth and a compassion and a humor to him. So we didn't want to lose that in the character, so we wanted to have the integrity of the, you know, the character we know and love, but at this point in his life.
They're coming. Stay hidden.
I'm really excited by the Inquisitors being in this show, live action for the first time. But the Darksiders are not known for being very trustworthy partners. So is there anything you can say about the group dynamic and how your character might fit in with that group?
I mean, well, we're all on one team at the end of the day, and a team is comprised of individuals, and everybody has their own way of doing things. And I think what sets Reva apart is she doesn't care what anyone feels about the way in which she does things, you know? She plays the offensive, and she has to be first.
I want every lowlife and bounty hunter to squeeze him.
The Inquisitors are all former Jedi who all must have their own sort of sad or dark reasons for ending up as Inquisitors. You know, did you sort of think about that and kind of keep that in mind with them?
We absolutely did. And, you know, and I think that's one of the things I think that I find the most fascinating about the Inquisitors is that they are all individuals and they all have a very rich backstory, or there's an opportunity for a very rich backstory if it doesn't exist, about why they turned and how they got to that point. So very much in working with all the different actors, you know, we're very much kind of trying to get into like what drives this character and, you know, what is the history. And obviously we don't have a ton of time in our series to explore that, but we really wanted to make sure that that essence and that history felt like it was part of the character.
I'm sure you talked to some aspect with Dave Filoni about them. He helped introduce them in animation and how these guys get along.
I would definitely say they're not team players. I'd say in large part, they're all driven by their own ambition. So it makes for a difficult group. You know, obviously I worked with Dave Filoni on The Mandalorian, you know, and worked with him pretty closely on that. And then we were also shooting right across the lot for Mandalorian. So, you know, he's been a great support for me throughout. And also I've had the benefit of people like Doug Chang, who's our co-production designer, who actually was part of the prequels and has, you know, obviously done so much incredible work for Lucasfilm. So there were a number of people helping to support that.
Leave us alone. When the time comes, he must be trained. Like you trained his father?
I'm excited to see Owen and Beru in the show because I feel like people probably kind of undervalue the role these two played in shaping Luke Skywalker into the man he is. So can you talk about that and getting to maybe give a little more insight into these two?
Yeah, I was also incredibly excited to have these two come back, you know, and everybody focuses on Ewan and Hayden, but also for me, like Bonnie and Joel are another pair that are very similar. And, you know, it's a pretty amazing story. Like they were very young when they did these, you know, and to bring them back together so many years later and they're back in these roles together, it was pretty special for them as well. And to have a little bit more time to develop them so, you know, that they had a bit of a bigger role in this.
Lightsaber fighting, I'm sure on one hand it must be just surreal to be on set doing a lightsaber fight, but also, you know, did you talk with Deborah and kind of think about what would this character, what would Reva's specific technique be in a lightsaber fight?
Oh yes, that was another really cool part. Everyone has such different fight styles. Jojo, our fight coordinator, was really detailed in figuring out who would do what moves and what was appropriate and what wasn't, what's been done before and what we could possibly improve on. Reva is an athlete with a lot of elements of, actually don't know if I can say that, but a lot of cool elements to her fight style that hopefully we'll be able to talk about later.
You can't run all